presented by GBD Media.
Let's get ready to rumble! Hey, what happened? What happened? Hey, what happened? Somebody call mama! What are you people? On dope?
You again?
What happened? Hey, what happened? What if this is as good as happens?
All right. Hey, if you're watching out there, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. If you're listening, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and that's at Mental Case Dads, and that's for all three of them, so it's very easy to find us. Do we have a show for you? The good, the bad, the ugly. Nolan, my friend, sorry, you got to be the ugly today.
That's all right.
Steve, you can be the good, and I'll be the bad.
Yeah.
Well, we have with us tonight a personal and close friend, Police Constable Steve Watkins with us. How you doing, my friend?
Buddy, I'm good. I'm really, really good.
You're good?
And I have to clear something up. I am on days off, so there is nothing Police Constable right now.
Okay.
With this.
Yes. That's awesome. Nolan, how you doing, my brother?
Doing good. This feels weird. We've been in the studio for a while now, and this feels like I don't know, blast from the past, like COVID recordings.
Yeah, back to recording.
It feels odd.
Unfortunately,
last minute we had to rearrange our session to do it this way tonight.
Hey, you know
I
what?
apologize.
We're mental case dads, and dads come first, right?
Yeah, I got the little one,
so
we're gonna have to just do it this way tonight.
Yeah. I'm staring at you here on the video, and it looks like you could be somebody that Steve could arrest at any moment.
Hey, you know what?
I love the attire you chose for having a guest on this evening. You went with the old muscle shirt.
This is not a white beater.
He goes
right?
with the old muscle shirt, right?
This is okay.
Yeah. You look good, man. You look sexy.
Thanks, baby.
Steve, my boy, we've known each other for 25 plus years or something like that.
Yeah, at least, man. At least it's been that.
Yeah, we grew up as kids. We met each other through church, I believe it was, right? And I remember you being a little bit taller than me at that time, and trying to play the drums. You remember those days?
I do. I was making some noise, man.
Yes. And Jeff and I, Jeff was my cousin, or he still is my cousin. He still is my cousin. We would say, "Oh, look at him! He can't play the drums." And now the man is multi-talented. You can sing, you can play almost every not every instrument, but you can play a lot of instruments.
I only play the cool ones.
You only play so you play the drums, and you're really good at the bass guitar. I remember that. I love that. He used to play Night Court for me all the time. You remember that? I used to get you to play the Night Court for.
That's my favorite.
Yeah. I used to get him to do that for us all the time.
Awesome.
Yes, sir.
Well, Steve, we are mental case dads here, and we try to self-aware others as well as ourselves to learn on mental illness. Now, I don't know if you know, but I was diagnosed just before all this COVID thing started with bipolar disorder.
Okay.
And being diagnosed with bipolar disorder at the age of 42 it's a shitty thing, right? And it hit. I was telling the boys when it first came out, it was like being punched in the stomach, right? However, there was an answer for why I felt like I felt, and so the past few months have been challenging in trying to learn. But I found this outlet where I can do this podcast. We can have a good time. We can have some fun, and also educate others. And whether it be sometimes we talk about sports, sometimes we talk about sex, sometimes we talk about drugs, sometimes we talk about whatever, right? And today we're going to talk about Constables. Oh, I'm not allowed to say that. We're just going to talk about Steve today, and how much I love this man. You know how, Steve, I don't know if you get the same feeling. Maybe you don't get the same feeling with me, but I kind of have a little man crush on this boy. But
it's mutual, brother. It's mutual.
You have certain friends when you grow up that you stay in contact with, that there's a kinship there. It's always been a brotherhood, and he's always been the guy that I could talk to, whether we were 13 or back only maybe 5-6 years ago when we used to go to Timmy's every Tuesday. We'd meet up in the meet up at the Tim Hortons parking lot and go in, that's when we could actually go into Tim Hortons and enjoy it. Yeah. Now you can't. So, but
the old days.
Yeah, the good old days. It's been great times. So, how's it been for you, man? You've had such a journey. You have 3, 4. How many kids do you have? You have 3. 4. Whoa, what a man!
4, brother.
So it works. It definitely works.
Only one of them is a kid. The other ones are like young adults, though. You know what I mean?
Yes. Your other 17 children are all adults and married with grandkids.
Old Grandpa Steve over here soon, I think.
So, are you on holidays?
First of all, thanks for having me, brother. I really appreciate
Blessings,
being here. And I echo and reverberate what you said about me, is that you're just one of those guys. And quite honestly, I have maybe a half a dozen of those guys in my life where there's that kinship, there's that brotherhood. And we can go days, weeks, months without saying anything. And then we can say just a word back and forth through text or whatever.
Yes.
And it's right there again, you know. And I appreciate that. And I love you, man. I love you. Like a fat kid loves Smarties. I don't know.
Is that a joke for me? is that like a Mick on a Smartie or what? I love Smarties.
Not at all. But no, Smarties. So I'm not on holidays per se. We, in the world of policing, we don't have regular weekends. We don't do the Monday to Friday thing. At least I don't. Yeah. So my schedule is a little bit all over the place. But every now and again, I will have a stretch of 4 days off. Now, then I booked another day on top of that. So I get 5 days off. And before anyone says, "Ooh, look at you getting 5 days off," I want you to know that in the last 14 days, I've worked 12 of them.
Wow.
And of those 12, 10 of them were at least 12 hours long, like well into overtime, getting called out in the mornings and at night. It's
so
just
long
been
hours.
Very, very busy. So definitely enjoying. I'm about 3.5 hours south of where I normally reside right now, and just kind of it's the closest major city. There's 35,000 people here, but it has everything that I need. So that's kind of what I'm doing, man. I'm chilling with my fam jam, and they are right now. They've given me some space to hang out with you boys.
So tell them we appreciate that too.
Yeah. You know what?
And I'm sitting here chatting with you guys.
And your lovely wife is a police officer as well, so she understands the hardship of being a cop as well. Does that make it easier on a marriage when both of you are the same job like that? When it's something like a first responder?
Well, it has different challenges. So a challenge that we don't have, that I think a lot of people may have if one is a cop and one isn't, and that is that understanding of a schedule, understanding of the stressors, understanding of the things that we see and deal with, and understanding the mental strain that's there. We get each other in that regard. The challenges that we have is that we're often on like opposite shifts. So we sometimes are literally saying, "Hey, she's getting off at 6. I'm starting at 6." So it's a "Hey, I'll see you tomorrow." Is that sort of deal?
Do you work close by home? Like, do you ever get to come home for a nooner or anything?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, good. That's good. You got that on air. Yeah, absolutely, I do.
I get to come home for.
Oh wait,
if
hold on. I have something for you. You don't get privilege just because you're. Wait.
Oh yeah.
Continue, my friend.
No, we are far too busy for those shenanigans.
Yes,
for sure.
Especially with a little one running around.
With a little one, yeah. And the thing is like, for my on-duty time, I am my radio's on all the time. So no matter what I'm doing, where I am, I may have to drop of a bucket, and it happens a lot where I gotta just go and respond. But I do reside in the town that I police. So if there's a spare 15, 20 minutes, I can go home and grab some lunch and say hi to the kids and all that. I take advantage of it for sure.
That's awesome.
Mick, I think we need to say this. I think I'd be remiss if we didn't. I think it's great. You go around in our community here, Steve, and I'm sure you see it out by you as well. You see them in front of businesses, on people's home property, on little signs on their lawn, thanking the nurses, thanking the truck drivers, and you know what? Unfortunately, not a whole lot of people thank the cops. So from mental case dads, anyways, I say thank you, for helping us get through this unprecedented times that we've gone through, and we're continuing to go through. And you put yourself out there, and I know as a father, on top of this, I used to be a first responder myself in EMS, and I get it. There's a lot of stresses, and now you add this into it, and you got to come home to your kids, and God forbid, you don't want to be bringing anything home. But thank you for everything that you do, your wife does, all of you guys. You know what? We can't do what we do and be safe without you guys. So thanks.
Yeah, well said.
I appreciate that so much.
Well said. What was I going to say? Nolan, you got me all whacked out now. I'm a little baked too. Well, you know what, Steve? I don't know. Okay, so marijuana now is legal. Is that an easier thing for you guys to deal with?
That's a great question. I'm curious of that too. How has that affected you guys in policing?
For me, it hasn't at all. The only thing that it's really changed is when I see it now on somebody. There's, it's as long as they're abiding by the regulations that they ought to. Yeah. There's nothing. So for me, there's just that instant check, right? Like, wait, what is that?
Yeah,
because I'm still kind of used to that. I need to get that.
Yeah, that's. Hey, wait a second.
Like,
yeah.
Do you feel like there's, whether it be petty or otherwise, crime has been affected in a negative way because of the legalization of marijuana? Or do you think it really has had no effect on anything?
Stoners are not going around freaking robbing shit. We're sitting on the couch. Well, actually, I'm doing a podcast talking to you.
Probably more specifically, operating a vehicle.
Oh, that's
I honestly, I haven't seen much difference, to be honest with you.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, like obviously operating a motor vehicle, if you're impaired with anything, that's wrong. It's definitely more challenging to distinguish, someone who's high, just because we're so trained for years to recognize the effects of alcohol and liquor on someone. So with this marijuana thing, it's just I haven't experienced. I've never even given or had an impaired investigation with marijuana since it's been legal.
Okay.
That's good.
So yeah. Now I will preface that with this though, is that where I am right now, and so I've been here for almost a year. It's a unique community in as much as I rarely do traffic because it's a condensed little community.
Okay.
And there's not a lot of traffic stuff that really goes on.
Yeah. You're very involved in your community too. And you do a radio show there as well?
Well, yeah, so there's a little radio show that you can tune into in our community. And
please tell me you sing.
What's that?
Tell me you sing on there.
I will. So I will be. So here's the deal.
There we go.
Because they're just. I'm waiting for the green light from someone. I have gotten together a little bit of a skeleton, as far as like following something, and it's going to be an hour per week, and I'm going to basically break it down into 4 15-minute segments. Now, each segment is going to mirror that of the medicine wheel, and that's a First Nations. You may have seen a medicine wheel where it's broken up into 4 parts, and each part has its own sort of unique focus.
Yep.
And I'm still learning about those things, but what I want to do is I want to mirror that with this radio show.
That's
and I'm
awesome.
going to basically break it down into 4 15-minute segments. And one of those segments, and this is upon request and only because it's been a request, is that I would sing a few tunes for whoever wants to tune in.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
That's awesome. That's perfect. Because
That's great.
you are a great singer. I taught you everything you know.
Oh, here we go.
Listen, Nolan, dude, we used to travel to
What?
go singing, him and I, and my
How
cousin.
am I finding this out now?
Well, I'm telling
True
you right
story.
now. And yes, and we used to sing. You remember the time we were supposed to perform at my father's graduation, and I got in a motorcycle accident,
I do remember that.
and
Yeah.
I ripped up my entire jacket, and I still sang.
Yeah, I remember that.
All
Do you
beaten
play?
up.
Do you play an instrument?
He plays them all.
You.
Do I play an instrument?
And no,
Well,
not the triangle. What do you play?
I would say like I can touch the drums, but I am not a drummer. Steve is a drummer.
See,
Like
I drum.
I can
play.
keep a beat, but he can drum.
You can play.
Yeah.
But Nolan, I will tell you, if this is just news to you right now, I'll tell you what. Mick here, he can belt out some crazy notes.
Sexy tunes,
And,
brother.
Listen, I'll tell you what, man.
What?
We have had chills upon chills when Mike and I have hit some of those harmony notes.
Yes.
And
Really?
buddy,
Mm.
it penetrates through the soul.
Ah.
brother.
Oh yeah.
You guys,
Yeah.
you guys are talking my language. I go down. I've been playing the drums. I guess since I was around 9,
Oh wow.
and
Okay.
I have an electronic set now downstairs, which is great with kids because I could just plug these in and I don't have to go with the amp and stuff. But do you know, it's like one of my bucket list things that I just never got to do, and if it's just even for one tune, is to just play in front of somebody, people.
Oh,
Anything.
dude, we
One
can
gig.
set that up.
Just like
We can
that would
definitely
be
do
fun.
that. There's a thing I want to do for September benefit, and we can set something up like that anyway. I just set you up there with a set of drums and just get you to play for the crowd and just go nuts.
That's awesome. You know what? That must be, guys. That must be so much fun to do.
Oh, it was.
I
It was.
can't imagine
We
that
had
feeling.
we had a lot of fun. I remember lots of times on the boat. And
What kind of music? Like, what do you, Steve? What do you
oh,
play?
dude,
What are you
we were
into?
choir. We were angels. Like we were the good little Christian boys who.
This is a halo above my head, by the way.
It's not a light?
It's not.
It's not a light.
It literally is a halo. And you know what,
It's
Steve?
another son of God.
When
There you
there are a few people that I truly believe that are real to the bone. There's a select few, and you are one of them. I think in my head, like as real to the bone as you can be. I'll even give names. You, Dave Drover, you know who that is,
I do.
and Clark Moran.
Yeah.
And other than that, I mean, I'm probably sure I could pick out a few more names, but you guys are, because you're so real, and that's
I'm
why
out of it. That's it. I'm unnamed. That's it. We're done. It's over.
I love the
Nice
fact
seeing you, Steve.
is because I
See you later,
know
Nolan.
I know Steve's heart, and I remember sitting in those Tim Hortons day after day after day after day after day after day, and I'm telling you, this man's heart bleeds policing and helping people. He was a pastor. He came from pastoring in a church to going to policing. Steve, you've
Wow.
been to 2 different places in Saskatchewan now, correct? Or is this the same one?
This is my third place now.
This
in
is your third
Saskatchewan.
place. And then you were in Toronto for a brief moment.
Almost a year, yeah.
Oh, you were here for almost a year?
10 months, yeah.
You know what? We are assholes as friends then. You know,
With-
we,
yeah,
with-
you are.
With the Toronto Police Service.
yeah.
Yes, I was. Yeah.
Where did you work at, Steve?
I was in 22 Division, so Etobicoke South.
Oh, I know it.
Yeah.
I worked that area myself for a while.
So now
Oh,
those
cool,
2
man.
differences have to be drastic, correct?
Yeah, it's night and day differences. I'll tell you right now, Toronto Police Service is fantastic. I have, I've talked quite a bit on my own YouTube channel about why I made some changes and all that. But they're a fantastic organization from Mike. This is all I can say, man. It's just my own experience, right?
Yes.
I don't represent
Absolutely.
anyone. I don't
Yep.
represent any agency, and I
Yep.
know you guys know that.
Yep.
But just anyone listening, understand that I'm just
So
Steve. That's
this
it.
is just
And in my experience with Toronto, it's different because it has to be. Like, I mean, I think in our area there was just over 300,000 people that we were, in our jurisdiction with
Yes.
our division, and that's. I mean, now I'm policing 3,500. When everyone's home,
Yes.
and so it's a huge difference. So right now I'm more of a self-sustained kind of do-it-all generalist.
Yep.
Where with the Toronto Police Service, you're more of specialist. You do your part,
Yep.
and then you make sure that you are in good teamwork with the next unit. Well, they do their part
Yep.
in an investigation, and then they do theirs, and so on and so forth. And collectively, you come together and you hopefully solve crime and bring justice and
Yeah.
all the rest of it.
Yep.
And so where I am now, it's just I'm way busier now than I was then.
Yep.
And but again, a lot of that has to do with because if I get the 911 call and I go to it, and if there's substance to that call, I've got to follow through the investigation. I've got to do the paperwork. I've got to prepare the court documents. I've got to talk to Crown prosecution sometimes. I've got to talk to defense, like all that kind of back road court stuff.
Yeah.
We are very involved with too. So with Toronto, the amount of calls that do come in, you just could not do that. So that's why you have other people that are taking care of those loose ends, as it were, and everyone just does their thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Steve, you were a pastor, and you decided that you want to go out there and you want to help people. Of all the different services you could have chosen, why policing?
Because it's better than firefighters.
I didn't say that.
It's the gun.
I have lots of firefighter friends, so I have to throw that in there. They all wear capes. I already tell them, do you see police officers put badges on the back of their license plate? No, but you tools do it, don't you?
Honestly, of all three emergency services, and you know what, like I said, I've done the EMS thing. I have a lot of friends, whether they be with TPS or Durham or whatever. I have friends in fire. Policing is the most grueling, toughest grunt work of the three.
I love that
There's
you
no
said
question,
that too,
no
because the
question about it.
firefighters
So
are going
I'm curious why
crazy
it
right
was
now.
policing that you took. That's where you kind of gravitated to.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, man. In a nutshell, my story was when I was in high school, I wanted to be either a pastor or a police officer. Those are my only two things that I had in my vision as far as what I want to do. And because I was unclear, I graduated high school, and I thought I'm going to take 1 year and I'm going to work. I had a job opportunity to work downtown Toronto, and I did. And I thought I'm going to think about it. I'm going to pray about it. I'm going to see what makes the most sense for me. And in that time, in the job that I had working downtown at a law office, ironically enough, I began to progress through the ranks, as it were. And so that job, which was only meant to be a year long, I ended up staying there for 4.5 years because I promoted to an on-site manager role. But throughout that entire time, it was always in the back of my mind, this isn't what I'm doing forever. And but it was a good gig then. And this is where anyone listening, this is where we can fall into ruts. And when people hear falling into a rut, they often think of it as a bad thing. And here's what I would say
especially this
to that.
time too, with COVID going on. Falling into a rut is really easy. Yeah.
The rut is so easy, and the rut doesn't always look bad, because I was 19 years old, wearing a shirt and tie, going to work downtown Toronto, making okay money, for a young guy.
For sure.
And it was cool, but it wasn't. Here's the thing: water will always find the easiest path the path of least resistance, and it just flows down that way, and it just goes. And we can become like that. We can just go where there's the least resistance, and that's what I found myself. But it wasn't fulfilling that something in here. And I ended up taking a sales job after this office job for another couple of years, and I was very involved with my church throughout all of this. And one day my lead pastor in Scarborough took me out and for lunch, and he said, "How would you like to be full-time?" We went through all the details of what that would look like, and I accepted. And I thought, okay, this is, of those two, pastoring and policing, this is what is meant to be, and this is where I'm supposed to go. So I walked through that door, and it was great. I wouldn't change anything. But as I look back, there were times where, it would literally be like this. I would hear sirens, or I'd see a cruiser, or I'd see someone in uniform, and I thought, what if?
Yeah, got a job. You got a policing chub.
So I'm like, I can't. Here's the deal with the what if is that I'm not the kind of guy that will turn 60 or 65 and retire with that big of a what if.
Yeah.
So I put my hat in the ring, and at that time it was like 2008 or so, and so I went through years of ministry, and in 2008 I put my hat into the application pool, and I applied kind of to several services, but back then the economy was tanked, and everyone was sort of on a hiring freeze, and it was difficult to get in anywhere. So I ended up volunteering with the Toronto Police Service with the auxiliary unit, which is an unpaid position, but there is some training that goes with it. There's a uniform and some kit that they issue, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it was scratching the itch to a point.
Yeah.
And but I knew that I had the hope that it was going to help solidify, do I want this policing thing, or it's going to exit that thought and think, nope, this isn't for me, and I'll just continue volunteering and continue pastoring. So I loved it, and I just, thankfully, eventually the doors opened, and I accepted. So that's sort of, I know it's a long-winded thing, but that's my story, man. Pastoring and policing, the doors opened, and I wasn't satisfied with just going with the flow and the path of least resistance.
That's awesome.
You know, there's a saying, there's the things we want to do, and then there's the things we're meant to do.
Yeah.
And sometimes
I have the path
you
of,
don't get to choose.
well, like my water flow too, but that's got everything to do with my prostate. That was a horrible joke. Where's my... Where's the...
Denied.
Oh, my goodness. Steve, what was I going to say to you just then? I don't even know. You talked for so long, you made me forget what I was thinking about.
See, that's the pastor that comes out in me on this job.
Yeah, definitely the pastor thing, because I was dozing off, right? You were talking so long, I started to fall asleep.
Listen, bro, sometimes when I pray, Jesus even falls asleep on me. I don't show up.
He's sick of listening to you, too. That's awesome, man.
So if I'm understanding, Steve, based on where you're policing now, and you said it a few minutes ago, you're kind of a jack of all trades in the policing world there. So
I think he just called you a jack off of all trades.
Are you the forensics guy? Are you the SWAT guy? Like, whatever it calls for is basically you step up to?
No, that's a good question, man. I'm jack of most trades. Let's say that.
Okay.
For those specialized units, we still 100% have those units, like IDENT or FIS or forensics. We also have, an emergency response team, or like a SWAT team that could come.
Okay.
But the unique thing for us is that we really are well trained to handle a lot of situations, because of our remote location. It does take some time for those units to get to where we are, and so they're not based out of specifically our little community. They're not that far off, but they're people often ask me about the tools on my duty belt, and before I even get to those tools, it's this tool. It's our brain, right?
Yeah.
It's our mouth. It's our communication.
Absolutely.
Like that. If we're not using that above everything and anything else, then we're missing the boat. If the first thing people go for is an intervention option that is not your brain and your communication, then you need to reevaluate. Now, don't get me wrong. If somebody's shooting at you, I'm not going to be yelling at them or asking,
yes.
Respond. But for the most part, we got to use what's between our ears as the number one intervention option.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I say it again. Unfortunately, it is an unfortunate thing. You guys just don't get enough credit for what you do for every community, whether it's out where you are, it's downtown Toronto, it's out here where I am in Cobourg. It really doesn't matter. There's not enough can be said.
It's a hard job to be at. Yep.
Yeah, it's
especially
one of those
in community's eyes, right?
It's so funny. In a post 9/11 world, firefighters are glorified. They're heroes, right? You see a paramedic, an ambulance roll by. Oh God, something terrible has happened. And the police, I hate to say it, but I don't even know what word to use. They're the assholes, right? Unfortunately, and I'm not speaking across the board, but the perception generally, this is they don't get the credit that, say, the fire does, right? They're the ones that cause the trouble.
Yeah.
They're the ones that get all the heat, and it's unfortunate because honestly, without you guys, our world looks a lot different. I don't think people really appreciate it.
Without that would be complete anarchy without the policing, right? So
100%.
There is, Steve, one more question I'd like to ask you before I let you go back to your family.
Sure.
And it's something that has been near and dear to my heart in the recent months. And I know the type of person you are, but I had a friend of mine say something to me yesterday that really irritated the shit out of me. And it pissed me off because I'm going to a Black Lives Matter rally in Orono, Ontario tomorrow. Which is the mayor's going to be there. There's all bunch of it's a civil rally, right?
Peaceful,
and a peaceful rally. So we're going, and I'm going to take my kids with me so that we can show that we're standing in unity as well. And this person had said to me that, well, that means you hate cops, and I was dumbfounded that they had said that, right? And I don't know if you've had to deal with anybody that's got bipolar before, especially if you're coming in contact with arresting them, but we can be very aggressive and loud and obnoxious. And I started to get irate about it, but the one good thing is now I can recognize where I'm about to get hot. I did say, like, I shut them up or whatever, and I walked away, but I wanted to talk to you and have you, can you further explain how you feel? Because to me, I don't believe Black Lives Matter movement has anything to do with policing.
Absolutely not.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
It just has a unity. We just want
has to do with human beings.
Being equal and having the same rights that everybody has. Doesn't matter what color you are. That's what this movement is all about, right? And
again,
I don't get
see
it.
how they tie in the police?
If you look at the but I'm watching police officers down there taking knees too and hugging some of the spectators.
But
and
what
pisses me off is they always say those people are down there rioting now. Those people, listen, you ignorant son of a bitch. There's a rainbow of people down there. They're black, they're white, they're Indian, they're Mexican, they're German. It's everybody. This is a movement, I think, that's moving in the right direction. I wish it wasn't so hostile, but sometimes I guess maybe, I don't know. Steve, what's your opinion on that?
Yeah, I hesitate to say too much on this. Where I am policing right now,
Yep.
This is all I'll say with this. Where I'm policing right now, I am by far the visual minority. By far, like far. Of 3,500 people, there's probably maybe 20 white people.
Okay.
And but as far as this whole movement goes, I hate that humanity has taken a backseat to color.
It has.
You know?
Yeah.
Listen, I grew up in the hood. I grew up in Scarborough. I grew up where my next door neighbors were every color under the rainbow, and it frustrates me. It frustrates me to think that that some things have to come to this, and I'm not even saying that you should or shouldn't have to.
I know what you're saying. Yes.
It reminds me of a crowd of people. Forget this movement for a second. You're just in a big room of people, and there's 40, 50 people in there, and everyone's just chatting up. In order to get attention from everybody, somebody's got to grab the blowhorn.
Yeah.
And start making some noise.
Yeah.
And then eventually what happens, and it doesn't happen in a second, it takes some time. Eventually what happens is everyone begins to hush and then turn their attention to that person who's making the noise. Now,
yes,
that's sort of how I see it here, is that there's a big room of people and everyone's very, very loud. And I think that what really, my hope and prayer is that the soft heart would rise in a volume that does not equate more anarchy or does not equate more, and I say death, but in every sense of the term. I mean, even the perception of police officers, like even the death of that little boy or that little girl, that little person having that thought of, there's someone that I can go to for help. But all of a sudden, it seems like in some regard that there has been a death in that. And that's what I really hurts my heart is that every life
Well
matters.
said.
Everyone knows that.
Yes.
Everyone knows that every life matters. And my hope and prayer is that the louder voice would come as a soft heart that would penetrate through the noise to put back the perception that would say not every blank, and that's every police officer, every white person, every black person, brown person,
Yes.
whatever. Every blank does not mean every blank. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
One action of one police officer, even of multitudes of police officers, cannot be a brushstroke for everybody.
No.
And
Yep.
you can insert police officer, fireman, white, black, whatever. Listen, I'll even say you can even say, if I have a bad Ford truck, it doesn't mean that every Ford truck is garbage.
Yes,
right?
it does.
So, but you know what I'm saying.
Yes, I do.
It's the experience, and I would never belittle or downplay anyone's experience. And so all I can do is control the things that I can control.
Yes.
So in my community, I am not well liked, and in my community, I am that figure of authority. But you know what? I still want to penetrate through the noise, and I want to help change the perception of at least someone,
Yes.
that little boy, little girl, little person who says, there is an officer who I can run to when I need to go for some help.
Absolutely.
And my hope and prayer is that when all of this dust settles, that there will be lessons learned that we can apply to everyday life, that we do not have to
I hope so.
repeat history
Yeah.
again. 'Cause
Yeah.
This
No.
is just a dark,
I
dark
think
blot.
I'm hoping this path that is happening now, it will eventually fizzle. That's just bound to happen. It's at its peak right now where everybody's very aggressive. But when it does start to fizzle, I hope people still stand up. Don't be quiet. If you see an injustice, it needs to be spoke. That goes for white, black, purple, green. I don't just. Let's live in one as unity. That's how we need to live. And Steve, I love you, man. This is why I wanted to have you on the show. This is a man of passion and love, and I don't know. I respect you so much, man.
Thanks, brother.
And even more that you came on the show now. So we haven't talked in so long. It's been great. Plug your YouTube channel too.
Yeah, well, if you don't know, I do have a YouTube channel called Real Cops, Real Life, and the second real is REEL, meaning that basically, as a cop or any first responder, I'm putting my life on that film reel so that people can see that there's just a dude behind the badge. That's it.
Yeah.
I like ball games. I like playing sports. I like going out with my family. I like fishing. I like swimming. I like those things that any dude might like or any person might like.
Yeah.
And that's it. I have a uniform that I put on. Yeah, I have a job to do. You know what? A plumber's got his uniform, whatever, her uniform, whatever that may look like.
It's not the only thing that defines you, Steve.
No,
it's not.
Being a police officer is what I do, and I will always say this, and I'll preach this until the good Lord calls me home, and that is, I won't ever want what I do to affect who I am, but I would want who I am to affect that which I do.
You're a good man.
Well said.
You're a good man.
Well said.
With that being said, Steve, thank you so much,
Buddy,
man.
it's my pleasure.
You are
Thank
the
you for having
man.
me
I
on.
love you. Go put on that red suit with honor, man. You look so pretty in it. All right,
Yeah, man.
brother.
Will do, buddy.
Peace
Thank
out,
you
man.
So much for having
Thanks.
me.
You have a
Steve.
good one, brother.
See you later, Nolan. Take
Ciao.
care.
You
guys.
take care of yourself. Be safe.
Bye-bye.
What a great guy.
Yes.
My God.
I told you.
You've known him pretty much your whole life.
I've known him since I was like 13
40 minutes,
years
and
old.
I got to tell you, uber amount of respect for this
Yes.
guy. Like,
And-
you know what? He's the kind of guy when he talks, you want to listen. Like,
Oh,
you do listen.
Well, he has. Well, like he
He
was
he
a
has a
pastor
voice.
too, right? So he's
Yeah.
got that. He had. Well, and two, a couple of the people that I mentioned, like that gentleman Clark Moran. I'm probably going to have him on the show eventually as well. It's these people that you gravitate to. That you when they start talking, you want to listen, right?
Oh, it's great.
But, it was
having him.
great having Steve on, and yeah, maybe one day we can have him in the studio. I know Saskatchewan's a long ways
great.
away, but I don't know. Maybe one day we can make it happen. Who knows? But yeah, listen.
Thank you, Steve.
People, you're watching here. I'm in the studio by my lonesome. Nolan is at home with his son. And because we are mental case dads, and dads come first, and he's got his little guy, so he's there being a dad. He's probably running around house naked right now. He didn't even know.
I've actually allowed him so we could do this podcast to stay up an extra hour tonight.
There you go. That's awesome.
He's loving that.
That's good. That's good. Well, so we don't have Riley. That's what I was going to say. Riley is living it up. He's gone to a cottage with the boys. My son is one of them. So I'm like, he ditched me. But I said to Melanie, or maybe I even said it to you or something, maybe what we'll do is, like, when stuff like that happens, we could move it up a day or something, too, if Riley wanted to be on.
But hey, the show goes on.
The show goes on.
We still have Today in Sports History. We still had our guests.
You are going to get the buzzer as soon as I find the link.
Woohoo!
I got to have a drink here. I haven't seen you drink anything yet. I got the pasties and everything,
man. What the hell is the matter? Oh, you mean tonight? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Tonight, no. No, tonight I'm on dad duty.
Yeah, but
I got a 5.
Yeah, but a water, anything, just being on a pod talking so much.
I'm good
I
so
would
far.
be dying.
I'm doing okay. What
you think you are?
Well, that's true. My perception of me is a lot different than everybody else's.
Riley, this one goes out to you.
Breaking news! It's sports history time with Riley Stevens. Make sure you get prepared to be as bored as hell. Off to you, Riley.
You know what? Before you start, before we get into the sports, how bad was that shithead's hair? I still can't believe he let us do that. Oh my God. It is so bad. I watched that video. I can't believe we screwed up on the video. We should have turned the phone sideways, but whatever. His hair is awful.
The good news is it looks like Maddie's off the table for this weekend, so he can start growing it back a little.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. I don't think there is a Maddie now. I don't know if she gave up on him or what. Maybe she heard about the haircut.
Maybe with the haircut, it's for the best. So there's a lot happening, Mick, in sports this this day.
I'm hoping you're going to mention one of them.
Well, I'll tell you what I got. I'll tell you what I got. Golfing.
No, I said we'll see. You tell me, and then I'll tell you at the end if we got it.
Here's a couple things. These are not the norm.
This is good ones?
1846, on this day, was the first officially recognized baseball game ever played.
What year?
1846, between the New York Nines and the New Jersey Knickerbockers, where the New York Nines beat them 23-1.
Wow.
Also on this day in 1867, the very first Belmont Stakes was won by
Belmont
a horse
Stakes, that's a horse
Ruthless.
race, right?
It's a very big one. It's one of the prestige of the
Belmont.
Triple Crown.
Is that
it's
cigarettes?
the third leg of the Triple Crown.
Is it Belmont cigarette?
Belmonts are cigarettes.
I didn't think cigarettes were allowed to sponsor sporting events.
One has nothing to do with the other. It's where they run the race is called Belmont Park.
Oh, so it's named after the park. Yeah, okay.
Right. In 1936, the German boxer Max Schmeling knocks out up-and-coming American heavyweight Joe Louis.
Joe Louis?
Joe Louis.
What year was that?
That was 1936.
Oh,
Joe Louis was just up and coming.
I wasn't even a thought.
Happy birthday to the late great Lou Gehrig. This is a good one. This I felt very interesting. This was like an eye popper to me. 1943, the NFL's Philadelphia Eagles and Pittsburgh Steelers merge.
Yeah, baby.
But then they dissolved on December 5th.
Yeah, baby.
I did not know they merged.
I didn't know that till now either. They probably actually said it because I did a tour of Heinz Field and shit. They probably had mentioned that back then because I do remember. I think they bought the team for like $5,000. And it's like a multi-billion-dollar industry now. But yeah, it was like $5,000. He got an inheritance or something, and it wasn't the Steelers back then. But yeah, he purchases it for cheap. And then their
Crazy.
very first game, they had cheerleaders there. And they had noticed, the management had noticed that the players were paying too much attention to the cheerleaders in Pittsburgh. So we do not, and we haven't since had cheerleaders at a Pittsburgh Steelers game.
Never noticed.
Yep, never had them.
Wow.
It is horrible.
In 1955, Mickey Mantle hits his career 100th home run.
Mickey Mantle, yep. Well, one of the best baseball
One
players.
of the best. Speaking of one of the best, in 1961 on this day, Roger Maris hits his 25th of 61
You know what?
home runs.
I do not know who Roger Maris is.
Another great Yankee.
Oh.
Pete, in 73, on this day, Pete Rose gets his 2000th career hit. We know who Pete Rose is, yeah?
Yep, should be a Hall of Famer.
And this one is also very interesting. In 1977, Red Sox set a 3-game record of 16 home runs, and this is the part that pains me to my soul.
Against the Yankees.
All against the Yankees.
Good.
All against the Yankees.
Nothing good should ever come to the Yankees.
In 1992, on this day, Evander Holyfield beats Larry Holmes for his 12th heavyweight boxing title.
Is this before the Tyson fight?
This is before the Tyson
Before
fight.
the Tyson fight. So he wasn't a champ at this point.
Yeah. And those are the big things that happened. I mean, a lot went on. Like,
I got
on this
one
day
more.
in 2000, 54th NBA championship, the Lakers beat the Pacers. Shaquille O'Neal, right, gets his MVP.
Yeah.
Like, a lot went on in this day in sports. For everything from Formula One, Michael Schumacher wins his first U.S. Grand Prix. Tiger Woods, 2005, wins the
Hits
U.S.
his
Open.
wife with a golf club.
That was later.
That was okay. I thought that was today.
But you know what? It was a busy day in sports on this day.
Wow. There's actually one more special one near and dear to my heart.
What's that?
And today, a year ago, Toronto was an absolute write-off because today was parade day. Yeah.
The parade.
Yeah, they went crazy in Toronto.
3
Can
million
you
people.
believe the difference in 1 year? Like, I was coming around the corner, Melanie was driving today, and I'm like, what? Like, just because we were talking about certain places, and our next door neighbor was talking about she went to get her nails done because the salons and stuff are open, but they put they cut the gloves, the fingertips off the gloves to do your nails, but you still have to wear gloves. I'm like, wow, like this is just a new way of life. I think it's so weird, man. Like, do I need to go and buy a mask? Like, is that where we're going? Because I want a Raptors one or a Jays one or a Leafs one or something.
You know what? My Jackson, my 5-year-old, he's got a Blue Jay one.
Perfect.
But I wonder. I think a lot of people are still saying for now. I don't know. There's a for now. I think there's a forever to a degree with what we're seeing. There's going to be some of these changes that we've made.
It's going to be
going
to a
to
degree.
be forever.
Yeah. Some of the changes that are being made is, yes, I agree, is going to be forever.
And I don't think we're going to know the extent of that, and time will tell as we go through this. But
I don't know how the economy. I don't know how restaurants kick back because the way they're not even allowed to be open yet. There's just patio, and they still have to social distance. Right now, it's just patio, correct?
Yeah. Well, we have a few open here in Coburg, and they're doing a great job with the social distancing.
I bet, but they can't pack their place out.
No,
which sucks for them.
Here's the thing, like, I don't know how some of these places are going to come back now. What if we get another lockdown that people are anticipating?
Dude, that's happening. Look what happened. We haven't brought it up yet, but Austin Matthews has been tested positive for COVID-19.
A good chunk of the
Toronto Blue Jays shut down their practice yesterday because there was symptoms of COVID-19 on
Tampa Bay Lightning.
On the field. Tampa Bay Lightning. What really bugs me about the Tampa Bay Lightning is they won't name the players and the staff. So when they go that far, because to me it was like, oh, maybe because it's the superstars. But now you get in Toronto, who the biggest superstar is in Toronto, now has COVID-19. So
Actually,
I am
it's
hoping
funny.
he steps up and once he's healthy again and really, pounds his fist and say, we need to fix this. Because he's a kid.
You say that one of the biggest stars in Toronto. I'm gonna
he is.
correct it.
He is.
I agree.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna correct you. I saw a poll come out today, like an AP poll, on the top 10 centers in the NHL. We have 2 of the top 10 centers apparently. At number 7 was John Tavares, but at number 4 was Austin Matthews in the whole NHL.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He is becoming one of the faces of the NHL, not just the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah, absolutely. No, he's dynamite. But for Toronto fans, just to hear this now, hopefully, because we still have a lot of people that aren't following the rules. And you know what? It's okay to not be afraid, which is good. But you may have to learn to be a little bit afraid to protect others, right? Now it comes down to protecting your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your aunt, your uncle, right? And now hopefully maybe some of these Leaf fans that are younger and ones that aren't paying attention, because, oh my goodness, wow, this is now hitting closer to home, right?
I think there's a difference here, Mick, between not being afraid of living your life and being stupid.
Yeah.
You can live your life and not be afraid. But you know what? It's like a perfect analogy. Walk gently, but with a big stick.
I do
live your
every
life,
day.
but just
I trip over
be
my
alert
penis
and
all
be
the
smart.
time. I walk with a big stick. That's a complete
Story of my life.
That's
Biggest issue.
That's a complete lie. I tell everybody I'm a grower, not a shower. It's okay. It's the same thing to Dustin all. It's okay, Dad. You're Dad's boy. You're a grower, not a shower. That's all right.
It's okay. Don't be ashamed, baby.
Don't be ashamed, man. You were born that way.
We are what we are.
That's
embrace,
it, man.
Embrace the horror.
Yeah. Everybody fighting black people, but we all want their dicks, right? Is that what you were doing with the size? It was this big. Oh, my dear Lord.
That's what she said.
That's what she said. Oh, speaking of that's what she said, Steve Carell.
Yep.
I love the man. I watch The Office. The Office is usually on in the studio all the time. It's just on in a loop, right?
Yep.
If I'm working in the garage and it's just on in the background, because there'll be times, I remember this part, I'm going to sit and listen to it because I know I'm going to have a good laugh. He's got a new show out now called Space Force. And if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. He is so funny, and it's the same people that created The Office as well. So if you're an Office fan, you will be a fan of Space Force too. It's all about how, I don't know if you remember Trump talking about how he's got the U.S. Navy and the Army, and he's got all these forces, but he doesn't have a Space Force, so he's going to create a Space Force, right? So, and everybody around the world was like, "You're an idiot." So now they have actually created a show, and it's I binged it in however long it took from start to finish.
Buddy, you know what I'm binging right now?
What do you got?
Okay, she's not around.
She's gonna watch
I am watching from season 1, and keep in mind there's 16 seasons.
Holy shit! Grey's Anatomy. Oh,
Grey's Anatomy.
I'm gonna hang up.
All I can say is I love her.
So Grey's Anatomy, eh? Wow. I don't even know what to say to that, man. I guess, like you said, you love her. That's what it comes down to.
I really do.
My daughter loves that show. It's 16 seasons. Is that what it is?
I do like the show. I've watched the show, but here I'm now watching from season 1 again.
Oh, that's you gotta rewatch it. You should tell her, hey, season 1 of Sons of Anarchy is on there.
I was just gonna say, I'll go back and watch Sons or Breaking Bad or Dexter. Like, come on, like, bring the heat.
Where do you put Breaking Bad on your list of TV shows? If you had to name five of your best.
5 in no particular order because I don't know where I put them yet.
Okay.
Sons.
Yep.
Breaking Bad.
Yep.
Sopranos.
Okay.
Dexter.
I never watched Dexter.
Oh,
Never watched it.
fantastic. And now I will probably say somewhere between the Walking. I have to say Walking Dead. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, I forgot about The Walking.
Yeah.
So my number one TV show is going to be The Office. Period, hands down. I'm on my 5th round, like going over with The Office. Number
Nice.
2 is got to be Breaking Bad.
Did you see the movie?
Oh yeah, absolutely. The day it came out, yeah. Breaking Bad. Number 3 for me is probably going to be The Shield.
Yep.
And then it would be Sons, and then I've got the 5th one, which would probably be Walking Dead. Yeah.
Yeah, Breaking Bad. It's a tough one to beat in a lot of ways.
Oh, I love it.
It's like, and you know what? It's funny. Just every show has a character that is the anchor.
Yeah.
And in that, Jesse Pinkman is the anchor. Without Jesse, there's no show. I don't care.
I just think all of them fit
Oh,
perfectly.
absolutely. They
like
all play
even
a big
that
part.
chicken dude in the restaurant.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree.
Oh, so have
But
you watched Better Call Saul?
I started to. I just
Couldn't get
I
into
wasn't
it.
feeling it the
Oh, it's a
same.
pretty
I
good
liked
show,
I
yeah.
liked it. I just
It wasn't it.
didn't,
Yeah.
It didn't. It grabbed me the same way.
Yeah, I think it's got
But
4 seasons, and I've only watched like 1.
listen, there's a lot of shows. You talk about Sons.
dude.
You know, you take out certain players, and it's still a great show, but they all play such a big part. But trying to imagine like the way
What's that guy they took out?
Walter
where
and Jesse interacted. It was comedic. It was comical.
they were perfect
right?
together. Yeah.
Oh,
A great
perfect
team.
harmony.
Yeah.
But it took to have this kid interact with the type of persona that Walter was supposed to be. It took a very special actor to do that.
Yeah,
And
but
he nailed
Walter
it. He nailed
went
it.
from like so plain to a completely
Badass.
different person.
Badass.
Like
That's why. Have you seen Ozark?
Noah's Ark? No, I don't think so.
No, Ozark.
Oh yes, I love that show. Yeah, I'm all caught up.
It's Breaking Bad
Yeah,
with laundering money instead of making drugs.
yeah.
Like it's same thing. Look at how innocent.
Did
they
you watch
started.
season 3 of
Look
Ozark?
how. Oh yeah, look how badass. You know what's also a really good show if you haven't.
And I
seen
know
it?
it's Jason Bateman too.
I know, and he's becoming badass. No, not more badass than
But he
Bruce is
still
the best.
he still looks and plays that innocent. I'm
Yeah.
not in trouble guy, but has completely got
Has
everything
some-
under control. It's it's a great show.
I
And the
don't know
last
shit about
season, the last season actually completely broke me because of the character with bipolar.
Yep.
And seeing,
Yeah, we talked about this.
yes,
the brother.
and seeing him going through that
Yep.
freaking that broke me,
Yeah.
right? But yeah, that's a great show.
If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. Anyone who's listening out there, the show was very quiet and under the radar, which was surprising because it had some
Yeah.
huge names in it. But I tell you what, if you haven't seen Animal Kingdom, tune in
That one
because
too,
this Animal Kingdom.
really.
Oh, it
Haven't
is
seen it.
you will love Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, I'll have to check
It
it,
is.
out.
It is.
I've heard it before, and they're in
badass.
like season 2 or 3 now, aren't they?
There, you'll be able to see 3. There is a season 4.
Okay.
Yeah, check
Okay.
out Animal Kingdom.
Animal
Tell me
King-
you can't
Well,
stop watching.
Isn't Animal Kingdom a Netflix show?
Yes,
So where would season 4 be?
they're,
Or it's coming.
they're-
It's
They're
in the
go-
process.
yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. Have you seen the new show? It's not a new show, actually. They're in their 4th season. F is for Family.
No.
It's a cartoon.
Okay.
Bill Burr, the comedian, is
Okay, yep.
is the voice of it.
Oh, okay.
And it's like placed back in the 60s, 70s kind of era, right? And it is
Yeah.
funny as shit. It's cartoon, and I actually got a thing here wrote here because I laughed the other day when I started watching it again. But it said, like, for the warning and stuff up in the corners and stuff, it says warning, nudity, sexuality, and language.
know
Why
what I
are
see
you
now, too?
warning me for
Smoking. I see
nudity?
smoking.
Yeah, but for a cartoon,
Hey, listen, man.
I got to worry about
look
nudity
at
in a
South
cartoon.
Park and look at Family Guy. Like, look at how these cartoons are meant for us, not kids.
Yeah, well, yeah, true. Okay, just say this 18. I don't know why you're warning me of nudity in a cartoon. It's just weird to me. Like, are some people out there like sexually
Some
excited
people
over
dig
the
it.
cartoon?
Some people dig it.
Can you dig it?
Like I don't know, anime porn. I don't know. Like some people are into that shit. Not me, but some people.
Are we getting a new side of you now, or what?
What's that?
Are we hearing a new side of you, or what?
No, definitely not.
I hope not.
Buddy, I'm a triangle. I'm three-sided.
You're a triangle.
Buddy, this was great.
This was a great show. I'm trying to get back here to my thing here. Here we go. But yeah, it's been an awesome show, I think.
It sure has.
Steve, thank you very much for coming on the show. It was a real honor to have you on. And listen, everybody, thank you for listening. We appreciate you guys. And make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. Hey, we're slowly moving up on the YouTube channel there for subscribers too. So if you're actually listening to us on Podbean or Spotify or whatever that is, can you jump over to our YouTube channel, check us out, and hit that subscribe button for us? That'll help us out tremendously. But Lace, hey, everybody have a great, what's today?
Friday. Have a great weekend.
Yeah, see,
all.
I almost lost
Be
a day
safe.
there. I was thinking it could have been Monday. So have a great weekend, everybody. Like I said, these crazies love you. Cheers.